Middlekauff.
Hey, behaves.
All right. I guess we can start tweeting out a link. Tom Brady is a Buccaneer.
We live on the tube?
We are live on the tube, I think. We just sent the link out, so hopefully this is working. It says it's working. And so we should be good to rock. Ready to roll. To anybody that is daring, if you listen to our podcast, then you know we told you there would be a soft opening. Well, this is it. We thought we'd try and go live at some point today, and Brady's a Buck. Just like, I mean, anybody predict this? Darlington? This was not my pick, I'll tell you that much.
Coward got a text today when I was driving to see my mother.
I saw that.
Quarantine, he got it from, he said, an icon in the entertainment world, and claimed he was going to go to Tampa Bay. Or that's where it was pointed. You know, that's a good question. Regis Philbin, he's still alive? Because I can see Brady knowing a guy like that, right? I wouldn't go like Magic Johnson.
The Rock, maybe?
Yeah, but think L.A., like Al Michaels.
Oh, Al's usually in on that stuff.
Did you see Jim Gray, Rich Eisen had Jim Gray on it?
I saw the story that. Well, I didn't actually watch the video. What was that?
Well, Rich had him on, said they have been in. It turns out Jim Gray doesn't just interview him at halftime of Monday night games on Sirius XM radio. They're really good
Westwood
friends.
One or whatever. Yeah.
It's like the white version of Magic or of Michael and Ahmad, because it's like that. But obviously, Michael and Ahmad makes more sense as a friendship, like similar age, athletes. Jim Gray, Brady doesn't make as much sense, but I think they're like legitimate buddies. Because it's like he knew, and he's like, Rich, I can't really tell you. I'm just telling you, his family's gonna factor in. And then Rich was like, well, blink if it's Tampa, and that's when Jim was messing with him. But it's weird sometimes. Maybe as the older you get and the more famous you get, you just get friendships that you didn't imagine you'd get. What was Jim Gray doing when we were younger? Doing like NBA sideline stuff?
Yeah, NBC. Interviewing Pete Rose.
Yeah, he's a pretty
Pete Rose on the spot.
Wouldn't you say
Olympics, I think probably.
when Tom was growing up, Jim Gray was really famous, right?
Yeah.
Like in the 90s.
Yeah.
If you're like a high school kid.
Yeah. I got to tell you, this is interesting. I'm putting up Ian Rappaport's tweet here, John. This was at 4:01. Was it 4:01 Pacific time, I guess. Rap Sheet tweeted former Patriots QB Tom Brady. Agreement in principle. I was trying to figure out why I felt so weird about it. You know, like Monday we did a podcast that had two pieces of live breaking news during the podcast, like Amari signs was one of them, and Stephon Diggs gets traded to the Bills was one. I might be immune to breaking news right now because I am overloaded, man. We've had 7 days. 5 days at least of like real multiple times a day breaking news.
You're factoring in I've seen people calling it the Rona. They're just cutting off the Corona.
That's why I go Rona. That's why I go with
You're a little too official for me. COVID-19.
COVID-19. Yeah. Because it's less syllables. But we've had, just think about all the breaking news we've had. The NBA was not going to the NBA went on pause, then canceled a game, and those were two different pieces of breaking news within an hour and a half.
Guy, in an hour stretch.
I'm numb to this, John.
In an hour stretch, we found out Kevin Durant has the Rona, a.k.a. Corona, a.k.a. the real name COVID-19, which is pretty just whoa. And Tom Brady is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Now, we've kind of had a feel that it was, I guess, once he announced this morning, that at any point in time when you read his announcement, you thought, just for a split second, like, is he playing the Patriots here? Is he trying to gain some leverage?
No,
you thought it was over.
I've thought, we've been talking about this forever, and is it leverage, and the Niners, and Studio 199, and but no, once that came out, I thought maybe it'll be a Charger. I did have about 5 seconds today when I thought, Witten? Brady? Vegas? In a finished stadium? That sort of thing.
I haven't thought they had a snowball's chance in hell for the last couple. To me, they've kind of just got cut out of the deal.
Yeah.
Nothing they did. And it feels like they embraced it. Because if you look back a couple days ago when they signed Mariota, to me, that was a clear sign. Because for a split second this morning, after I came to grips with he's not playing the Patriots, I thought, could he go to the Raiders? But then you're like, well, Mariota, if you were going to have a backup for Brady, wouldn't you have a less mobile guy? Right? You wouldn't have Mariota and Brady, in theory, because Mariota and Tannehill, once you saw them both play, you're like, oh, they're kind of similar. Right. Mariota and Derek. Like, you would get Brady and another stiff. And he's not a stiff, but I just mean he's a stiff in the sense that he can't move.
Similar player.
Yeah, just that was always.
I see. I think the Bucs are going to draft like Jalen Hurts.
Just to ruin my theory.
No, just to have a complimentary piece.
Do you think? Is there a chance Jameis Winston? Like, where is he going? Like this notion. Like to me, Cam is gonna. The Carolina Panthers, like at least the Patriots, pretty high level day, right? They let Tom Brady announce it. Like they have the meetings yesterday. Feels like Brady meets with Belichick to do business and realized this is fucked. He's either not kissing my ass. He's not offering me anything substantial. I've got nowhere close to getting all I wanted was a little respect. Maybe he asked them, well, like, why didn't we trade for some of these sweet wide receivers that just got traded for?
Yeah.
Why didn't we sign Austin Hooper to $24 million guaranteed? And maybe Belichick was like, I just didn't think it was the best interest of the team, and the team comes first. And Tom, I respect you. And then obviously I think Tom realizes that it's not going. He goes to Kraft's house, where they have a weird relationship in the sense like, Tom, Robert's kind of siding with Belichick ultimately here. Like he signs the checks for everyone. If he wanted you here, he could have kept you. And he goes over there, they hug and kiss. And really, not that I'm red flagging the situation. Tom, we got a coronavirus going on. You're younger. Robert's older. Have you been checked? I mean, you're not social distancing.
Did they hug? I'm sure Robert is a hugger.
Guy they kiss.
That's right.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm a little uncomfortable as a couple quarantiners, but
good point.
And then we get to this morning. Tom Brady's just kind of a free agent. He's not really one to. Maybe he knew this morning, right, where he was going to go. It doesn't feel like Belichick. Like, do you think Belichick lost sleep last night?
No. I mean, I do subscribe to your theory that because this is what it feels like today, is that the Patriots left Brady more than Brady left the Patriots.
Repeat that again.
I do subscribe to your theory that the Patriots left Brady more than Brady left the Patriots. Like, ultimately, he's the one that has to physically move out, but this was Bill.
They divorced him.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know that the Patriots are flawed, and they were flawed last year, but if you want to win rings, which is what Tom wants to do, the Patriots start every season expecting to win the Super Bowl. Everybody else starts the season kind of hoping that they can put together a team that wins the Super Bowl. Does he want to throw on that Bucs? Somebody tweeted at me, I guess they have their uniforms are going back to the way they used to look, like the jerseys. That helmet's weird. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't think of it that way, but.
Can I give you a stat?
Yeah, give me a stat.
The Buccaneers have not made the playoffs in 12 years. In 12 years. That's a long time.
Wow, and he wears the number 12.
I mean, but Chris Godwin, one of their best players, also wears the number 12.
Wow.
Who's also a wide receiver.
Would he pay him 5 G's to get the number 12? 5G conspiracy? That's the new 5G conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I can't. The one thing, and I'm a conspiracy theory guy, I can't do Corona conspiracy theories. I don't have the energy. There's too much going on.
No,
there's too much fake. I'm getting mad, guy. I feel not everyone's playing like Tom Brady and the salary cap in the NFL. Everyone's playing by the same rules. You have 198 million. You can fit everyone in the cap. Like it's not a soft cap. It's a hard cap. You either can fit your players under the cap or you can't sign the fucking player, right? Every GM is operating by the same rules. We are not all quarantining the same. And I'm starting to get pissed off because luckily our jobs, we can quarantine and function. But my fellow small business owner that's being forced to stop while big business is going, I got construction going. CVS is open. I'm at CVS today picking up toothpaste.
What time did you do that?
I did it at about 2:00. The checker.
And how was that?
Well, there was probably 15 people in there. The checker was old. I'm like, God, you guys don't get time off. She kind of, lowered her head, coughed a little. I'm telling you, probably over 60. She's like, yeah, we have to work. It's essential. Ooh. And I was like, she's being forced to work. This is a fucked up situation. I am not comfortable with what's going on with this quarantine guy.
Yeah. Well, first things first, John. If you're gonna float a conspiracy theory, you have to say, sounds crazy, but just something to think about. That's what everybody says at the end of conspiracy theory, just to make themselves not sound as crazy. I know it sounds crazy. Just gives you something to think about, though. I went to the grocery store at 6:45 this morning, and it was really weird.
You set an alarm to do that?
No, just I was up, and Alyssa was up, and she's like, hey. I was like, hey. She's like,
ooh.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm like, what? She's like, you want to go to the grocery store? Like, yeah, what the hell? So we went, and it was not crowded for now, but it was busy for, like, pre-COVID-19 times, the old days. And, to your point, like, I just want there to be two grocery stores, one for the people taking it seriously like me, and one for the guy who coughs right into his hand before he touches the conveyor belt. Like, he should be at a different one.
You saw that today?
The guy right in front of me. I said to Alyssa, I'm like, just watch whatever he touches. We won't touch any of that stuff.
Yeah, this is not – there is no even playing field on this. I mean, it's the corona, the standards of which everyone's abiding by. Like Tom Brady today, followed the rules. He could either try to re-sign, he could sign, but there are no rules in this corona.
Not for people, we've been talking about this on the podcast, neither one of us offended by NFL
people
free agency.
We need people to subscribe to the YouTube. That's, I think, what you're supposed to do.
I look, and a lot of comments coming in. Keep them coming. We'll probably read them after the fact. We're not, we're learning the YouTube streets here. Actually, John, I'm going to throw something up on the screen right now. We're going to go live we're going to go live on TikTok, John, but it was too ugly, apparently. So we decided to do YouTube.
Maybe comments do come in real time. Like, I'm a producer in the Whole Foods. It's like Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome apocalypse style. I had to drive today to my mom's house, who lives in Davis.
Yeah.
So you just go along the stretch on the 680 to the 80, and you just see what's going on the side. I got construction going on, cars everywhere, people carrying wood on construction sites, rubbing. It just doesn't matter. And it's a free-for-all out there.
Yeah.
Yet some of the people trying to do right, like me and you quarantining, we're outliers, I feel like.
Yeah.
Really are.
Comments are in real time. Well, here's the thing. We got three different screens going here, so it's hard to know. I just want to know that the stream is still working. That's my primary concern. So, are the Bucs? Remember how many was it yesterday or the day before that the Bucs became favorites in Vegas? It's the only thing Vegas has going.
Favorites for what?
For Tom.
Oh yeah, heavy favorites. I saw this morning, like, they went from, like, basically 1-1 where they were still the leader to, like, minus 1,000. It flipped hard within the last 12, 24 hours. Maybe, like, at the end of the night. Maybe it was first thing in the morning. I don't know, man. He's going to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, if you had to say right now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers make the playoffs.
Let's talk about their team.
Well, they do. To me, you can say what you want about the East Coast, and clearly everyone that knew what they were talking about said that meant a lot to him because he's going to leave his family in New York. He has a son there with the actress chick, the first person.
Bridget Moynihan?
Yeah, so the first girl he had a kid with. They live in New York. Means a lot to him to be a good dad. Stay on the East Coast. I think that was an undoing probably for the Chargers in Vegas. But to me, the biggest thing, the Tampa missed the playoffs all the time, right? I mean, the Chargers last year had a really good roster, and they were not very good. Now, part of that was Rivers' play was shitty, and their offensive line was bad, but they had premium players all over the place. What are they? They're drafting sixth. I mean, they weren't just bad. Like, they were really bad. You draft sixth, you had a terrible, terrible season. but Anthony Lynn, like when you just say it out loud, Anthony Lynn, I can't say with a straight face he's a good coach. He might not be bad, but he's not. You wouldn't call him a good coach. Gruden, a lot of unknown. I would say what we've learned about him in the 2 years has definitely brought down his stardom. I'd say Bruce Arians is pretty well established as a top 10 coach in the NFL, right? If you just had a good team and you could pick a coach, he would get drafted really high for just to try to win a season.
Is he above Billy O in the Bald Brotherhood, or is he?
Yeah.
And Durant still in, something to think about in isolation.
If you paint, you're in. That's why LeBron is 100% in. Durant actually has more hair than LeBron. It's really patchy. LeBron's just paint. Like if paint is your move, then you're bald. Durant is just balding.
Yeah.
And fighting Corona.
So, can I get a DVOA on the Bucs offensive line?
I think it's pretty low. Though I did see some things by the end of the year. It was better.
Who's the guy? Who's the Logan? Is Logan Menken still there?
No, retired. Living in Mariposa, I think, / New England. Donald Penn not on the squad anymore. So yeah, I mean, protection style. There are some rumors on the internet that they might trade for Todd Gurley. That seems a little crazy. I mean, let's. I also read a rumor they might sign Melvin Gordon. That makes a little more sense. You get Melvin Gordon to go. I thought Rojo was pretty good last year. Bruce Arians kind of resurrected his career.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing. When you think Bruce Arians, you think, 7-step drops, throwing bombs. That really hasn't been Tom the last decade. There's a reason Julian Edelman in the last decade has 119 playoff catches. He throws out routes and in routes to Julian Edelman and seams to Gronk. They don't really throw deep.
Yeah.
It's not. That's the one thing Jameis you could say. Like Jameis did that pretty well. Now he threw a lot of picks, but he threw bombs.
I'm looking at Spot Track. Chiefs and Ravens have a lower number against the cap right now.
You're saying they don't have much space.
No, I'm saying they have a lot of space, not counting Tom. Like the Patriots were third in dead cap money, third most dead cap money, the Pats.
Gotcha. So you're saying they didn't have much wiggle room.
Yeah.
So that's probably what Bill's telling Tom. Like, I don't have much room to sign guys. And that once they franchise, how did the Chiefs have all that money? How's that possible?
I don't know.
Well, the Bucs they have $30 million.
They haven't signed Pat Mahomes to his $50 million contract per year yet.
That's true.
Which, by the way, has there been a DeForest Buckner official? Because I saw Lund tweet like $46 million in guaranteed dollars for DeForest Buckner. Somebody.
That doesn't sound correct.
And like every 3 minutes, if somebody could just comment, "Stream's still working," that would help me out.
What's working? Because I got it on.
All right, mine's like the iPad that I'm streaming the stream on just to watch it keeps stopping the stream. But no one else is having that experience.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Cool.
It actually looks really clear. It looks clearer than when we tested. Good stat for you.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston 30 interceptions last year.
Tom?
Since 2016, Tom has thrown 29.
I just had Tom's stats up on the screen here, John. They're very tiny. Actually, they're so tiny I can't read them. I'd have to read them on the full screen. How many did Tom throw last year? 8, maybe? Was he 24-8? I think that's what I'm seeing. That's not
Patrick,
right?
24-8 last year.
Yeah.
Good. This guy sent us a link, or not sent us a link, but a comment. Costco in the United Kingdom was like the Civil War today. It's been a lot like what you just said out here in New York City. They've done well, but people aren't taking it seriously enough. So, yeah, I feel good about Haberman and Middlekauff, where our minds are at. Not to give us too much credit and pat ourselves on the back, but I feel we've been good humans and good members of our community.
You know what it's time to do, John? It's time to look at the Buccaneers schedule.
Well, the schedule doesn't exist yet, does it?
We don't know who they're going to be playing?
Well, you know who they're going to be playing, yeah.
So who do they play? They play at Chicago this year. They play at Denver this year.
Tough spots.
They play at Detroit. Former
win.
Coach. They play at New Orleans. They play
Every year.
at the New York Giants, and they play at the Las Vegas Raiders. That'll be a hot ticket. These are assuming all these games occur. Their home games out of their division, they got obviously they play at New Orleans. I've got to learn the Bucs division again. They got Minnesota at home. Can we go ahead and put Kansas City at Raymond James on Sunday Night Football?
To open the season?
To open the season.
Thursday night, why not? Just come out Brady, Bucs, Chiefs.
Yeah,
why
done.
even fuck around? Yeah.
Can we get odds? We bet on that right now.
Would you do this right now?
Chargers and Rams. Chargers and Rams. So they play the AFC West.
It feels like the Panthers are basically just starting over. Would 14 straight up for Christian McCaffrey be enough? Or probably not, huh?
I don't think so. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think, and he's not on the. You know, I'm gonna. Since you said that, I'm gonna put Cam Newton's. Did you see this today while you were in transition? So the Greg Olson reply. Did you see this part of the Cam Newton thing?
No.
So the Panthers put up an Instagram post that said, "We have given Cam Newton permission to seek a trade." And then Cam replies on that.
I don't know what kind of font. I couldn't even read it.
On hieroglyphics. And then Greg Olson says, "Sounds familiar." So that was the news there today. And then they signed Teddy Bridgewater, allegedly.
To like Mike Trout type. Why? How do they pay him so much money? Jeez Louise.
Was there a guarantee on that?
No. My guess is
so
3
hold
years,
on.
60 million, 20 million.
So 60 million is the total, right?
Yeah. So
By
20
the way,
a year.
anyone out there that listened to our podcast, our emergency podcast for Monday, we nailed 2 guesses on the guaranteed dollars, right? We nailed Eric Armstead at 48 million when the initial deal came out, and what was the other one? Amari.
I mean, I would say we're as good as guessing guaranteed money as any.
Our guesses on DeForest Buckner, for the record, we said about $73 million were our guesses for the guarantee.
I'd say, 72 to 75 range.
All right, so we're going to guess the Teddy guarantee, and we said that it's a 3-year, $60 million deal. I'm with you. I'm going to guess that when it's all said and done, it's going to look like a 1-year contract. So you're saying at $20 million, fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
So it'll be a 1-year, $20 million deal.
Because if you think about it, Teddy, who's been a backup, who was offering him big-time starter money at more than multiple years? Like, I don't think the Panthers would have had to bid against anybody. The one thing I could see is it's possible that they went 3 years, $60 million, a year and a half. So basically, like, if we kind of suck and we get Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, he'll be the starter, but we're technically kind of keeping him. We can always move on, but you got to guarantee a little bit, to make him feel good. Maybe it's like 27 guaranteed, right? So it's like, even if we cut you, you'll still get 7. But we're basically paying you the 27 in year 1 because we got all this extra money now that we're getting rid of Cam. Guy, I've never seen a team that has just tweeted, like the Patriots this morning, just thanks for everything. You're the GOAT. Just normal stuff with Tom.
This guy took you to the Super Bowl. Lost a game.
Who?
Cam, MVP.
Guy, they started tweeting like, QB1, thanks for everything. It's like, he's on your fucking team. What? David Tepper, you are the most impressive day trader of all time. I'm rooting for you. You're a bald guy, a little chubby. You're my type guy. You need to chill a little bit. Tepper? Yeah, he's got the cul-de-sac going. He's got the fat, round, bald face.
But is it?
No,
or is he
it's like
on?
Yeah, well, he just got the cul-de-sac, but he's got it kind of buzzed, so it's just pretty thin on the side. They need to chill on social media. Like I don't need. We've given Cam Newton the secret trade. Don't shut the fuck up. Let Cam.
AKA, we've told Cam, hey, we're gonna cut you. Go ahead and find a trade.
Do you agree they should just be quiet on social media for the day?
Yeah, well, I don't understand the need to break your own news. I mean, I do on one hand, not being the ones that leak it. Like on one hand, they would argue, well, look, you would rather us sneakily tell Schefter and then Schefter tweets it. Like we want to be stand-up citizens here. We want to look our guys in the eyes. But I don't know. I feel like Cam's earned more than that. Allow him to seek a trade or whatever you want to call it. And then when he gets traded, that's what you announce.
I'd even give you the benefit of the doubt on the seek the trade because I do think you bring up a fair point. It's gonna get out no matter what. I am not comfortable with thank you for everything QB1. Guys, he's still on your team. You don't do that before you've cut or traded him. Just cut or trade him. If you're gonna cut him, just cut him. And it feels like they're probably gonna cut him tomorrow. But then do that after that, and then put your montage together. You don't need to jump the gun, because I feel like Tepper's like, get some out there, show support. No, he's pissed off. This is the NFL and pro sports. People, it's very public. People get pissed off at each other. Just shh. I mean, Tom Brady's been pissed off for 7 years at Bill, and they don't always tweeting at each other. Just relax. Even Cam, like I actually think Cam is being the more mature one in this. Now the hieroglyphics was, how long did it take you to read to feel like you knew every word?
I still haven't read the whole. I swear to God, I still haven't read everything he wrote. Because
it was just,
I was
it was
like, he's not
difficult.
happy. That's enough for me. I get that.
Yeah, one love, not my call type deal.
So,
Which
Dominic says on the stream, Cam to the Steelers chances. Cowherd predicted this weeks back.
my pick to go to the Steelers, guy, is Jameis Winston. I think they signed Jameis Winston because Duck sucks, and Mason Rudolph is just giving them a lot of headaches. So
we haven't even talked about the fact that Phillip Rivers is on the Colts. Okay, so Jameis to the Steelers.
Where is he going, guy? Let's list 5 coaches that would sign Jameis.
Bruce Arians. Already done with that.
Yeah, been there, done that.
I
got one that stands out.
One that stands out?
Because I just don't think he cares, and Jameis is a famous guy, and he'd be like, what the hell? He doesn't talk like that, but.
Who's that?
Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
That's John Schneider. I'll bring Jameis in here. Andy re-signed Chad Henne, so I'd say that's not available.
But here's the other thing. Like, I just think about Jameis's last press conferences. It was his outgoing press conference, right, where he basically said, like, I want to throw less picks, but I led the league in passing. Pretty awesome, wasn't I? Like, to go play for the Seahawks, he's going to have to take, what, $7 million? I'm not looking at their cap situation, but.
Well, yeah, just find me a team that's giving Jameis 20 plus. I don't think the team exists.
How about all right?
Let's
rephrase
Jameis?
this. Where would you want to?
Well, if I was Jameis, I'd want to take less money to get to a place where, like, Pittsburgh has a chance. Ben's just injured. The Bears, my agent would be calling them, hey, Jameis, maybe do a 1-year flyer and just resurrect it.
Did you see my tweet today?
Did anything happen since your tweet?
With the Bears, nothing.
What was going down? Did you hear some rumblings on the street?
See. You know, time will tell. Time will tell. I think the Colts were interested. A guy that I've wanted in New England. I think he'd be. All right, sorry. I'll let you finish on. I'm not going to just be dumb here and play these games, but you know, there's a player out there on a team that we've talked about. I predicted him to Indy. He's not going to Indy because Indy signed a guy, but they got to trade for him and he's expensive. So.
But he doesn't cost much to trade for him, right?
Yeah, but you might still need to work his money, and I think the team that's trading him wants more than what you would think they would want. So,
what do you think Andy Dalton's doing in the Corona? Just waiting to hear his name called? Is there a chance they just bring him back and have him just be around Joe Burrow and just be the backup?
Is Jerry Jones going to try and tell Dak, if you don't sign, I'm going to go sign Jameis?
I don't know. I mean, they've offered $105 to $110 million. I cannot support Dak in the sense of, if they were offering him right now $83 million, I could be like, okay, I get it. The other guys made 100 plus. When I see they're offering him Goff money, I just either sign it or don't. But I'm not feeling bad for you, buddy.
All right.
Right.
So,
they've been pretty adamant, and it feels like the reports are pretty, reliable, that they're not trying to get him to sign for $68 million in guaranteed dollars.
Let's put some quarterbacks on some teams then. Okay. So you said Steelers for Jameis. That's interesting.
But there is a chance that Ben is just healthy, so he wouldn't play. To me, the best way to get on a good team and potentially play would be the Bears. Now, I don't know if the Bears want him, but just take hey, I'll take $3 million, prove it deal. I'll be the back. I'll just come in there and compete. The Bears do not have a backup quarterback, guy.
Where's who does Andy Reid sign?
Well, he has Chad Henne. Re-signed him today.
Oh, you said that already.
At $37,000.
How
number.
How about Andy Dalton? Do the Packers need a backup quarterback?
Yeah.
Andy Dalton to the Packers.
Well, the Patriots. What about the Patriots?
Yeah. Foles. I would love Foles on the Patriots.
He did beat them.
He beat the Bears too.
Well, it was a doink. But he had some big drives in that game in the second half for sure. And who you think about that staff? Nagy's been around him a bunch. Flip knows him. Like they have a lot of connections to Foles on that staff, right? Foles' connections are Indy and Chicago. His $35 million salary probably takes him out. Like Andy take him back for cheap.
What are the Chargers? What are the Chargers going to do? Tank? In theory, move into a new stadium, L.A. Tank? How about Jameis to the Chargers?
No, Cam's going there. I think you bring in Cam. You got Tyrod, and you draft the tackle, or potentially draft Herbert.
That's what I think you do. But if you draft Herbert, are you signing Jameis? You don't sign Jameis and draft. I mean, do you sign Cam? Sorry, and draft. Do you sign anybody really if you're going to draft Herbert? Let Tyrod be the quarterback. For
Tyrod, you cannot let Tyrod be the starting quarterback going into a new building. You have no chance, none.
Well, you're not going to make Herbert. Are you going to make Herbert start right away?
Yeah, I mean it's 2020. I mean, what are we waiting for? We got players.
I don't know, man.
At least Jameis is going to be humbled because he did throw 30 picks, and he's going to find out. Well, I think I had a good year, but if I had just thrown 20 picks, we might have been in the playoffs. So, like, he's still young. I think Cam Newton, now granted he's been hurt, is there a team that's going to offer him more than like $10 million? He's been injured back-to-back seasons. This year, it was all-time atrocious. He's had shoulders, foot, a lot of stuff going on. Who is at the end of the day, if you're the Chargers, you have the sweet spot of being able to get a quarterback. I just don't see a lock Cam Newton destination. Like if you were a Bears fan and you just heard you signed Cam Newton, would you be excited or be like,
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, I'd be excited.
Good point here by Justin. A lot of crab legs at the buffet for Vegas for Jameis. Now, granted, the buffets are shut down right now, right?
Yeah. Everything's shut down.
Except the essentials.
Well, how about I hear shouting outside the window this morning at, 9 a.m. Like, what's going on? A man and a woman arguing. It was the meter maid ticketing a car because the street sweeper was about to come through. Now, here's the problem. On one hand, you could argue city shut down, street sweeping. Let's not let the whole thing go to hell, right? We got to keep our sanitation up. On the other hand,
broken window theory guy.
Broken window theory. Thank you, Malcolm. On the other hand, and Jed and Pioli. On the other hand, no one's going anywhere. So you're asking people to leave their homes just so they can move their cars so the street sweeper can come through and they move their car. Normally there's people are working, doing whatever, cars are moving, there's a cycle. But no one's going anywhere. So the cars are just there. I don't know. Seems like they should suspend the street sweeper.
I agree. This is back to quarantine guy. We got too many unwritten rules, or at least in baseball, if you ask a player, like they could name all the unwritten rules, right? Because deep down, while they're not written anywhere in baseball, you talk about them. There are no rules right now. Just like quarantine, just don't go anywhere unless it's essential. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean?
Yeah, what's this? I need to get my hair cut. I got to get lined up.
Yeah. What if I need, I want a slice of pizza, but that's just what I'm feeling. I have to have it.
I need it.
Right? Do I have to get new toothpaste? Like what are the rules? There just aren't. You want me to move my car for street sweeping? Well, because everyone's quarantined, kinda. They're just staying home from work. There's nowhere to park. So what am I supposed to do? And then, like you said, the city does have a legitimate argument because, like, we can't just let the city go to hell. Chris, at least in the rich neighborhood.
Chris just asked, "Is that the window that always has sirens outside?" Yes, that's the window. Can you guys read the sign?
No. Well, let me enlarge it. Bad color scheme by you, guy.
You think?
Yeah, because when the light hits the green paper, it just gets very light. It's been
The
5
only
days
piece of
without
paper
games.
I had in the house.
Do you realize that we've been gifted because of NFL free agency a little bit of a lifeline the last couple days?
Well, who has?
Well, I'm just saying people that just love talking some deportes.
Right.
And it's been, I mean, this is a pretty easy time of the year if you're worth your salt in fucking the business. We're about 2 weeks away from everyone's kind of signed and all the NFL guys are quarantined and kind of quarantined. They're probably still living.
I'll tell you what, man, like a little behind the curtain for everybody. You and I were kind of looking forward to this because we feel like we can do content
I'm not worried about what we're talking
in a
about.
content desert.
I'm more worried about being entertained off the mic. I can
I
figure out what to,
understand.
I think we'll be fine that way. I'm worried about real life. This to me is just this is what we like to do, guy.
Yeah.
This is passion. What do you do like when it's just 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning? So you're like, I got all day to do what? And you're really not supposed to go outside. That's the other thing. For people like you that are following the rules, you're like, well,
tell you what, man, this is really interrupting my jogging plans.
are you gonna go for a jog?
No, I haven't gone on a jog in years.
Well, I bet you'll start after you're just.
No chance.
You can only be cooped up for so. Are you gonna go for a walk? Are you allowed to go for a walk?
Yeah, we go for some walks.
Stairs throw out the trash this morning. Walked by multiple residents that I don't know that well. Got a couple weird looks. Like she kind of backed up, one did, and the other was kind of grabbed her kid. It's just a tense environment.
You look
diseased. I felt tense. Well, I don't think anyone felt they looked diseased. It was just, do you have it? Do I have it? Are we supposed to be outside? Like, are you going to tell on me? How far away are we from people calling CDC and ratting on other people?
The problem is there's nowhere to put anybody. Even if you're just moving people from quarantine, that you're better off locking people's doors from the outside. You're not going to arrest anybody.
Oh, I was told.
Although I heard in Spain people are getting fined.
Well, see that's where I believe that this should happen. Like, we need to draw a line and say, if you're outside, don't be arrested or anything. Our cops got better thing to do. But if I turn you in, it's like a parking ticket. Get sent to your house.
A citizen's turn in.
And what's the parking ticket in the city? Like $85?
Yeah.
I'd say to really kind of keep people, I think if you just said $50, people are like, oh, okay, bullshit. What if I said $500? A citing without a legit excuse. I'm telling you, I think you could just throw things, even if that was fake. If I could sit down with London Breed, that's what I'd tell her. I'd say, here's your problem. I think your heart was in the right place and you did the right thing. There's a reason when Belichick tells the wide receiver the play or the linebacker, gives specific instructions. I need you at 7 yards and 3 yards to the right of the hash when that guy is running the curl. And when he runs the go, I need you at this depth. Specific numbers. And the guy's like, okay, this is exactly what I have to do. So even if I lose, if I did the right thing, Bill just goes, well, you did what I told you to do.
Right. That
one's
on me. That one's on the coach.
And what are Belichick and Saban known for, right? Specific roles. Everything is defined to a T. Right now, it's like quarantine. What happens if you don't? Well, it's just do the right thing. Which you, me, I think decent amount of our community members, but I think a lot of community members, a lot of businesses are scared because they go, well, if we don't work, we'll go out of business. Like if you and Alyssa wanted to go get food tonight, you could easily, right? Go sit somewhere and eat.
You can do a no. Can't sit somewhere and eat. You can do a pickup.
Are you sure? Have they said that record?
Yeah, no, there's only takeout.
So there are no tables right now in this San Francisco, or this in the greater Bay Area.
But I can tell you for San Francisco, you can't eat out. You can pick it up.
Okay, I didn't know. I mean, I saw that. I didn't feel like anyone was following the rules. I mean, I've definitely seen that written. I just didn't know if the businesses were instituting that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty well. I think that one's being run pretty well.
At least there's less pollution out there. That's positive. Doing a good cough charts.
Huh?
They're doing cough charts at my job.
What is that? Is that a cough? Is that supposed to be cough check? What's a cough chart?
I have to go to work. Office of 20 people, telecom company.
Well, thank you for your service because, John, I've had 3 times actually since yesterday where I've made a phone call and on my cell phone and it's gone bung, bung, bung. We're sorry. This phone call cannot be completed at this time. You know that same message you've heard, anyone that's, as long as we've been alive, anytime you heard that, you used to get it a lot. Like when a phone number, you'd call a business and a phone number would be disconnected. You know what I'm talking about? That sound? I got that. So the phones have to be overloaded, like all the cell towers.
Restaurant I work at had social distancing tables for a week, and then they fully closed today. That's what I think is kind of happening. People are realizing, like, I'm going to lose money. You know, they realize if we only do it this way, we're better off just going dark.
Yeah.
That's where I think a lot of companies are at. Not construction, which I see construction just like, oh, just building. Like, well, aren't you guys just spreading corona all over the wood?
How about that photo of all the people on the beach in Florida? This was yesterday.
People have made the argument to me, though, it doesn't thrive in 80 degrees plus. So
okay.
So I think their argument would just be like 87 degrees.
The headline on the picture is 19 new corona cases in Florida.
Well, I saw do you follow Raj Mathai on Twitter?
Yeah.
He had a tweet last night that Pizza My Heart,
yeah,
they make pretty good slices, pretty good pie, that they're just doing a new type delivery where they just drop it off on your front door. And I started thinking, you still throw my pie up in the air. You're still touching my pie.
Yeah,
then your driver is touching my box.
I've got all of these, like DoorDash and all of them have send these emails that say no. You can they have to be no contact deliveries in your area, which means basically you tell them where to leave it and they leave it there. But yeah, I mean you're still going door handles and touching things, and I don't know. It's good for the businesses though. We had a restaurant. There's a restaurant here.
Why is it good for the business?
Well, they just have business. They're making money.
Oh, you're just saying if they want to keep going, they can.
Yeah. So
you better support then.
Well, there's one in the neighborhood that sent out an email, split, mixed. If anybody has that, they are doing a thing where you choose. They're like, we don't know how long we'll be able to do this, but they sent out coupons, 20% off, 50% off, and free. And it's for people who are having trouble being able, maybe they're not getting paid from their job. They got to get a meal. So you can say, here's my 50. I will choose to get 50% off. So I'll get a gift card to them. Just give them some cash because I do eat it a lot.
Yeah. What'd you guys eat for lunch today?
Outstanding member of society, like apples and cheese and peanut butter pretzels.
Do you think you guys lose weight or gain weight?
This
like
is
it feels
definitely
like you
a
guys
gainer.
You think so?
Yeah.
It feels like you guys are eating pretty healthy.
It's only because I was still full from the eggs, toast, and bacon for breakfast. Look, I'll tell you this. You know what's more offensive to me? People are like, the NFL news, like, feel the tone, know the room. Like, this is offensive to do hand out millions of dollars. You know what's more offensive to me than handing out millions of dollars in the NFL free agency is when you tweet a photo of like you on your back porch beachfront at your beach house or like in the Montana hills. Like, good thing we have the cabin. It's like, that's more tone deaf than the NFL handing out millions of dollars. Like, here's me just making a full meal photo of me at the cabin. Thank God for the family place in Park City. Like,
I got in the car this morning to drive home, and I flip on CNBC. It's one of the serious things. Just sometimes it's got random shit on there, like Jim Cramer. But the White House must have had a briefing, and they had this guy talking, and someone's like, "Is it true that you guys were going to send $1,000 check to every American?" Like, well, it's kind of an interesting idea. He's like, "Yeah, it's something we've thrown around." And he's like, obviously, if you make $1 million something, we're not going to send it. And then I started thinking, like, what would be the cutoff? $50,000 and under, or is it $100,000 and under? Like, you just want to send me $1,000 check? I mean, I'll send you my address.
I actually
Fire away.
I got that link that was going around. It was a Reddit link, and it said, hey, everyone gets $700 regardless of whether or not their job. And I knew right away it was like on a thread. I'm like, not clicking it. I know that's 50-50 chance that is a dick pic. Yeah. Dong pic. And it was not. It was something. Apparently it was a gorilla flipping you the bird. I didn't click it, though. Jason Witten, a Cowboy, Raider, John?
$5 million?
I didn't consider when Witten came out of the booth that he would play. I thought, like, he's got one more year in him. That'll be cool. I did not consider he'd play multiple years.
When you love the game, guy, you love the game. It's just, while it didn't come through on Monday night, maybe he's not He's actually I heard him on a couple podcasts over the years. He's really, really impressive. I've heard him on Colin's show. I mean, he's good. He's an impressive guy. But yeah, I'm with you. I first off, I never thought he would. I thought he would just get fired and then go do something else. But that he returned last year, I remember, was a pretty big shocker. Remember when that tweet went out? I was like, what? He was returning to the Cowboys? And now that he's going to the Raiders, a Raider fan tweeted at me, like, I'm so tired of this. Like, we still need leadership for this rebuild. I'm like, guys, this isn't a rebuild. Gruden nuked your organization, traded away your two best players. He got 3 or 4 first-round picks. He started over, right? Like, this is not just turning it around. Like, this was he was hit X-nay on the whole thing. Kept really one player, the quarterback, and the center. But other than that, he started from scratch. I would not call the Raiders a rebuild. They were a restructure and just they tore down the studs, started from ground zero.
Yeah.
It wasn't a remodel. It was to wipe out the entire house and build it from a lot is what he's attempting to do. But
not really rebuild it, just move it.
Yeah, exactly. And his problem, right, is he can't do a rebuild right in the sense that, like, he's still got to buy players because he is trying to win. I mean, I'm not saying he's not trying to win, but you win 11 games in 2 years and you lose to the Jags and the Jets down the stretch in must-win games. Like, you're a long way away.
How about Darius Slay, Raider?
Well, I think you got to trade for him, and they don't have a second-round pick. I was thinking, if you're the Niners, would you trade pick 31 for him? Because a bunch of Raider fans keep asking me, would you trade pick 19 for certain players? I'm like, well, to me, 19, once you get under 20 is kind of the cutoff. Like, I don't love trading those picks for players, right? Like, I want to nail that pick and get a sweet player.
You said you under pick 19 and better, you get hesitant trading?
Yeah, because in a good draft, there should be 20 legitimate first rounders. And if the Raiders now have 2 quarterbacks, they're going to take 2 players. If there are 4 quarterbacks picked and you have picked 12 and 19, you're going to get 2 of the best 14 players in the draft potentially. We're 31. We say it every year. There's a reason Seattle, the Chiefs, the Patriots, over the years have just traded that pick for a player. So it's much easier to trade. That's why it's pretty nuts they traded pick 13 for DeForest, but I still haven't quite gotten over. They traded 13 for DeForest Buckner. That's a lot.
We talked about this on the last podcast. We could get into it a little bit here, but it's I mean, it is one of the more intriguing to me. Anytime you get some of the best picks in the NFL are good teams who end up with good picks, right? Good teams, the 49ers were just in the Super Bowl, ending up with an opportunity to get a blue chip player. Like, if you're a player who is a top 15 level player, to me, the 49ers would be at the top of your list of places you want to go. Like, they're good enough that you'd rather go to the 49ers at 13 than a better team at 7 or 8. Now, would you rather go at 13 than 2? No, but like, that is always a major curveball when you end up with a team like that, because you don't quite know. I mean, they got to go offense, right?
The Niners?
You could argue deep receiver draft. They don't have to go receiver with that first pick if they think they can get a pretty good guy later. They still don't have a second. They don't have a third. They don't have a fourth.
Do you want me to empty the clip with all the ideas now? We save them for the podcast this week, or are we just talking?
Yeah, we could say. I mean, you talking about draft ideas for the Niners? Yeah, let's hold off on that.
Yeah, because I got 2 scenarios that I think you can kind of go either way with the picks. But I think the number one thing is, before, they didn't really have options, right? You have pick 31 and then no pick for 3 rounds. You're in a little trouble, because you'd be like, well, trade down from 31. Well, what if at the time you're on the clock, no one's calling you, right? What if there's not a player there that anyone really thinks worthy of trading up for with the 5th-year option? You're just stuck. Now, the options they have are pretty plentiful, because to me, 31 is just always a ripe spot to trade for a existing player in the league that's unhappy, right? That's always a sweet spot. Now you get rid of DeForest Buckner, you got a little cash to play with.
Yeah, see, I like that more than going from 31 to, 34 and picking up, like, would you? I don't know we could pull up the draft value chart, but going like 31, 34, and then getting like a third or a fourth, just because I want the fifth year, like we saw it play out. I want the fifth year option.
One thing that I just thought of, we haven't talked about yet with Brady.
Yeah.
It became pretty clear a couple days ago that when Chris Sims tweeted they were out, do you think if the Niners had wanted Tom Brady's a 49er right now?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I was thinking about this earlier today too. I think we can say now with hindsight, at least based on what we know today, that was real enough that he could have been the 49ers quarterback. If they wanted him to be the 49ers quarterback, I think he could have been the 49ers quarterback. And it did make me...
If Kyle wanted him, is he their quarterback?
I think he is, yeah. I do think he is.
I probably agree with you.
Which there was the report like right before the Brady news broke that like the Chargers are kind of out, like, but it was framed as if, I don't remember who tweeted it, like they've been told it's not going to be them. But I mean, if
the Niners kind of had to tell him like we're not interested, right?
So we would say there's two teams that
Tampa and Niners.
No, the Patriots and the Niners that it feels like said, you know what?
Oh yeah.
Now there might have been a financial implication there for the Patriots as well, right? And probably for both of them, there's a financial implication. But it does feel like there's two teams that were in the position to.
What about the irony of potentially Jimmy blocking him from the place that he truly wanted to go?
Well, we on our podcast a week or so ago, I can't even keep track of time anymore. Somebody said, hey, is this all like Belichick playing chess? He sent Jimmy G to the 49ers knowing that's where Tom wanted to go, and it would help him it would just give Tom less leverage, and we kind of mocked it at the time. I told you this earlier when we talked on the phone. It's easy to throw out conspiracy theories. I still can't quite – something still doesn't quite feel right to me about Bill just picked up the phone because he liked Kyle Shanahan and said, hey, I got a guy. You want Jimmy Garoppolo? You have an exclusive negotiating window. Let me know. Something still doesn't quite feel. Now, maybe he liked their pick, or maybe he didn't think they'd get anything. Maybe he thought the Niners would give him the best pick. But I don't know, man. I'm open to that. Just something to think about. I'm open to that conspiracy theory a little bit. Are you a little more open to it today that Bill had an ulterior motive, or was it just like you said to me, maybe he just liked Jimmy and wanted Jimmy to succeed?
And at the time, Tom was under contract.
Goodness of his heart.
I think things really got
ago now.
I think things really got weird with Tom last year. Whenever something happened, he wanted more years. Bill didn't give it to him. They amended the contract to make him a free agent and untaggable. If he was taggable, did the Patriots tag him, or do they tag the guard over him?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they would do that.
I don't think so either. So, kind of a sad ending to this run in a weird way.
This is a crazy year, though, man. So we've got that, and we've got the Colts. Here's the Colts. You want the Colts games?
Mm-hmm.
Phillip Rivers is a Colt. They play at the Bears. Here are their road games. They play at Chicago. They play at Cleveland. They play at
Win.
They play at Detroit.
Win.
Home games. The Bengals.
Win.
The Ravens.
Win.
The Packers. That's going to be another premium primetime game. The Vikings. The Jets. How about the Raiders get Brady at home and they get Rivers at home in Vegas? Raiders are hosting both those teams.
Wow. London Breed just tweeted. Did you mention this already?
The mayor of San Francisco?
Yeah, the cannabis is a needed medicine for many San Franciscans, and the dispensaries are allowed to continue operating.
No, I did not mention that. Well, let me grab my keys. Wow. All right. Well, I mean, we could keep going forever. We're used to doing 3-hour power pods, but is this a place to leave? Is there anything else we need to add? I'm sure we'll think of stuff.
Yeah, we'll just keep on firing.
So this is new. Obviously, this is the first one. And subscribe to the channel. We'll figure if it were open, hit us up, DMs. We'll try to sprinkle some DMs in, that kind of thing, into this show. how often we'll do it or whatever. I mean, I'm sure we're sitting around right now. Do you want me to do one moldy take?
Yeah.
I'll do one I tweeted earlier. So I even have a little graphic for it. This is not old takes exposed, John. This is not supposed to be things that were wrong. This is not supposed to be predictions. This is just old takes. But old takes has a meaning now of old and wrong. So I'm calling them moldy takes. They're just old. They're moldy. I mean, they're kind of bad maybe in retrospect, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out as we go. So I'll throw one up here. So these are all. What I did was I just found old tweets between us from 2013. I've got plenty more from this category. But let's just follow up on a few things here. This one I like, John. This is I tweeted at you December 27th, 2013. Now that Davante Adams is officially in the draft, what's your early round prediction? You said mid to late second.
Nailed it.
The tweet got one like. 2013. That was when you were just guesting on the radio show. So you nailed that one.
Do you know the other part that I put in but we didn't have as many characters back then? Because remember, the characters have been expanded to 120. It used to be.
It was 120.
Or 240. Then? It was 240. What's it now? 240.
140. Was it 240? No, it's 140.
No, it's 240. It's longer now for sure. It used to be smaller. Remember?
Well, it did. I thought it was 144. Is it
whatever?
Whatever. I don't know. It's longer.
Yeah. It's longer now.
That makes sense because some of these are weird looking.
Yeah, because what I would have added was, well, he will be the steal of the second round, by the way, and he'll go on to make multiple Pro Bowls and be Aaron Rodgers' feature guy in the future.
Okay,
I added that, but you know how when it goes red when you don't have enough spots?
Yeah. I said, okay, at John Middlekauff, and this one, like, my spelling is all tight because I'm trying to tighten it up. Thinking teams that passed early on tight end don't mind. Eifert, Ertz, and Escobar versus 14 Ebron, Jace Amaro, Austin Safarian Jenkins. You said take the 14 crop. I honestly don't even understand my tweet.
Don't get it either.
But you say take the 14 crop. So Ebron, Amaro, Safarian Jenkins, Eifert, Ertz. Escobar was the guy from San Diego State, right?
Yeah. Washed out of the league pretty quick.
Probably should have taken Eifert and Ertz over Ebron, Amaro, and Safarian Jenkins.
Yes. Delete that tweet.
This one.
Did we used to interact this way on Twitter?
Yeah. This was one that I posted on Twitter earlier today. This is from June 24th of 2013. And keep in mind, you posted this at 10 p.m. because I did the 7 to 11 p.m. show.
Good point. Someone just put in the comments you couldn't quote a tweet back in the day. Things have changed.
Okay.
You had to respond. You know,
remember
the retweets used to have an RT.
So that's why I put MT in some of these because I'd have to shorten somebody else's tweet. That's right.
Yeah.
So this one was thanks at 95.7 The Game and at Guy Haberman for having me on. Look forward to coming back. And you did come back. That was a good one. And then I really like this one, John. This was you. I had to go back through the thread, and it came back to me. Somebody from college who worked for the earthquake, Frank Stranzi.
Yep.
Somebody that you knew at Cal Poly.
Stranzel,
sorry.
Yeah.
You guys end up in a thread, and he says, you said it's going well. My buddy Guy Haberman and I are thinking about coming to watch the Quakes next Saturday. You around? And he said, July 13th, I'll be there for sure. Let me know if you guys want to drop in, and I'll leave a couple tickets. And then you said, for sure, I'll let you know. I don't remember. Did we make it to that game?
I've never been to an MLS game, so I think it's safe. I can't. Was that fake? Like, was that fake energy that I really wanted to go see the Quakes, or was I just trying to integrate myself into my communities?
That's right. I think that's what you thought was happening at that time.
Just trying to get out there, rub elbows with the community.
Yeah. So we'll have more, but those were a few moldy takes exposed.
If you saw me say that same thing in 2020, would you make some phone calls? Like, is John on meth or is some weird? Would you think it was bizarre if you read that thread 7 years later?
Yeah, I would probably.
Because that felt pretty real, didn't it? I didn't feel like I was being sarcastic.
Here's the thing: 2013, John just tricked us. into thinking that he was thinking about going to that game. There's no way in hell you were thinking about going to that game.
Do you know what the other thing I see with 2013 John? He looks like a pretty nice guy. Just pretty interactive, like pretty
You were still
normal
feeling your
take.
way out. You weren't, you were still feeling. That was back when you were like a J Middle 365 or something, or 65 on Twitter.
It'd be the equivalent of like the dude at work who's got like on a long sleeve shirt and wears like a turtleneck so you don't see anything, and all of a sudden like one day once he's feeling comfortable, you go to like a weekend trip with him, shirt off, just tats everywhere, just backwards hat, smoking cigs. You're like, bro, you are not the guy I'm used to at the office, because my Twitter account for the last half decade has not resembled that type of interaction. Proud of myself.
Yeah, me too.
Do you think Twitter just became a more aggressive place? Like maybe back then it was just hey, what are you doing? Oh yeah, come over. Oh, you see the game? Yeah, it was just it felt like a happier environment. Maybe.
Did DMs exist back then?
I think DMs have always existed. I think,
right.
but
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
One other prediction to get out of here on. Nah, actually,
Yeah.
we'll save this. It wasn't even a relevant prediction.
Save it.
Okay. Well, anyway, what I was going to say is DM us questions you want us to answer, then we can throw them up there. Also, recommendations, tips, if you have any feedback on YouTube.
From what I've seen,
also.
we got 27 subscribers. Do you think we can hit 1,000 by the end of March?
That'd be great. I'd love to.
That'd be my goal.
Okay, that'll be the goal. And if that happens,
I think
maybe we'll give something away. I don't know.
Yeah. Haberman's.
You have any more koozies over? How many koozies do you have over there?
I got some I got some golf balls, mic, and some koozies. My quick story. My brother, he has been feeling pain in his shoulder. He's like, I don't know what it's from, and he couldn't swing a golf club a couple weeks ago. So he told me this morning before I was going to meet him. He's like, let's meet at 10. I got to get an MRI at 7. I'm like, whoa. So he gets an MRI, and we're having this meeting, and all of a sudden he pushes over the phone to me, and the MRI goes, here's the recommendation for a torn labrum. And he's like, what does that mean? I'm like, well, the torn labrums, I know, unless you're Quan Alexander, you're in for 2020 golf season over.
Wow.
And he's like, I didn't have one instance, right? It wasn't like I tried to pick something up and I felt it rip, or he's just like, it was over time. I started feeling weird. I'm like, ugh.
Kind of wish you'd gotten that surgery like 2 weeks ago, right?
Well, like Shaq says, you don't want to, like his company, he's a big golfer over the summer. That's a devastating blow. He has no choice. He can't swing a club right now.
Speaking of Shaq, John, this is not an ad. So YouTube, this is not an ad. This is not product placement. I don't want to be shaking all your scaly ass hands in 2 months or whenever we're allowed to shake hands again. So lotion yourselves.
Guy, I don't feel like shaking hands is happening.
Ever again?
Not in this year. I kind of like this.
I do too. A little chicken wing. What's up, man?
I like the chicken wing more than the pound, because I think sometimes the pound is like, I don't respect you enough to shake your hand. Sometimes when you get people our similar age, it's just kind of weird. But maybe that's just they're trying to be cool. I don't know. I've lost touch with what it truly means.
I'll tell you the real benefit to abandoning the pound is you'll never end up in the middle of one of these. Like, hey, are we doing you never quite know what you're doing. If everyone's doing the chicken wing, it's like that gets you what's it called when the DB knows where the quarterback is throwing? You telegraph it. This is telegraphed. A shake, that is a last second Vic Fangio blitz. Like, you don't know what the defense is doing.
Well, and if you're meeting someone who's above you on the food chain of life and you're trying to make a good first impression,
which aren't they all?
We've always had, every one of us has had this. For whatever reason, he grabs early or you grab early and it goes kind of limp fish. You're like, oh my, and you just want to, kind of go Larry David. Can we stop this interaction? I am not a limp fish handshaker.
You just got to lean in for a kiss if that ever happens. Did you watch this week's Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No, I'm going to go watch a lot of It's 5:30. I'm going to go hammer out about 4 hours of television.
All right. We did some good work here today.
No, we did. We got 27 subscribers. We are 963 away. Would that math be right? Or 73? 73.
73, yeah. 973.
Yeah. Let's get it.
All right. Later.
Okay, see you.